Well, hello, my friends. Glad to have you here. I'm Rachel Archelaus, founder of the Intuitive Art Academy, and so much more. We will talk about another day, probably. But I'm Carrie Roldan, your business BFF, one of my BFFs in business and life. And we're here for you. You are so special, so wonderful, so unique, so talented, and we want to do readings for you. So this is one of our favorite things to do. We're ready. I've got my intuitive art deck that you can't see. I've got my intuitive art supplies. We have our amazing psychic connections ready for you. So, hey Jennifer, hi Guillaume, hi Katerina, hi everyone who's here, hi Karina. So if you've been with us before here, then you'll know how it goes. You can put your question in the chat one at a time, and then we'll just go down the list. And then if there's time, you can put another question in, and we'll just keep going. And it usually works pretty well. So thanks for coming. Before we get going, I have one announcement. It's very exciting. So until Sunday, if you register to become a certified intuitive artist, we are giving you our aligned income course. It's $1,000 value. We surveyed everyone at the end of it, and everyone who sent back a survey said they made more money, right? Among the multidimensional results that they also got, more happiness, more clarity, more enthusiasm for life, but they made more money. So it's a really great bonus right now. I'm doing this in honor of Administrative Professional Day, which was yesterday, which I was a professional admin for such a long time. That was my day job while I started all of this. So I'm super happy to celebrate that. You can go to intuitiveart.com, click on the certification button right at the top right, and see if this is for you. So we would be glad to have you. All right. Carrie.
I want to say hi to Janet and Dale, who just popped on. Hey guys, always happy to see you. And I was just telling Rachel before we went live, I love how much you guys love these readings. I love that, like, when we do readings, people come out of the woodwork, which is amazing. So we're so happy to see you and happy to do readings for you. So let's get going.
Yeah. And Katerina says cat orange whistling. Maybe that was, I'm not that hip, but I'm assuming maybe you're a cat person, I know. And I'm a cat person too. And I got cats in this room. So they're all communicating with each other. It's really fun. So yeah, put your question in the chat. We'd be happy to answer. And Dale, I did get your question earlier, but if you want to put it in the chat, I think that'd be helpful because I didn't immediately have a connection with it. That would be a great intuitive art drawing, but maybe Carrie has more for you too.
I didn't get the question, so
I know. Yeah, Dale just emailed it this morning.
Okay.
So hopefully she'll put it in the chat since she's here in Spain on a lovely vacation.
Oh, you guys. This is exciting. I didn't know Dale was going to Spain, but Dale is a member of our group and travel has been on her wish list for quite some time. And since she has become a member of our group, it is so fun to see all of the places that she has been able to go. But Spain in particular, I am excited about because I am remembering a vision from maybe a little over a year ago that included Europe. And so I'm seeing you, Dale, in all your European glory. All right. Well, Rachel's muted. So what do you got?
Yeah, so we don't have any questions yet. So Carrie, do you have a question?
Well, so I was just going to say, if no one put their questions in the chat, it is Carrie Day. Do I have a question? Honestly, Rachel, we did intuitive art 2 days ago and I got some answers and I feel so good about it. But maybe. So we asked, what am I authentically wanting right now? And I feel like that was, of course, spot on. I think maybe I have a question about what the feeling that is popping up in me right now is impatience for what I want. So maybe just about there's a how question. There's a question about like how can I find the path of least resistance?
Hmm. Okay. Well, for that, I'm going to use our Intuitive Art Oracle deck, which will be available probably within a month, which is very exciting. The printed version will be much prettier than these, but they will be able to provide us an answer right now, pretty or not. So what's up with this impatience of yours? Okay. So first, it's my money color.
Okay.
So muddy colors show us imbalances, or it's just where we're not in alignment, right? So that also means that it's a place we're choosing to be that is not in agreement with our higher self, right? So if we are upset or impatient or feeling bad for any reason, it's okay that we're there, but we're not going to be allowing ourselves to receive what we want. So if we're impatient, we are holding ourselves away from what we want, right? That making that super clear right here. Next card, my other muddy color. It's never happened before. I don't even know if I've ever picked my muddy colors from this deck. So doubling down, this muddy color, when it used to, I don't even really use muddy colors anymore, but this muddy color is about not doing what you want to be doing. It's knowing what to do and not doing it.
Okay,
So,
wait, that's different. Hold on.
yeah,
Knowing what to do and not doing it, or not doing what I want to do?
both. Because what
Got
you, right?
it. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And then there is one more here, which is coherence. So I think this will also help. Action, but this is like aligned action. It's like a little purpley red, aligned action and coherence. So what is the antidote to impatience? Doing what you want to do, right? Aligned action. Aligned action. Like this is a perfect example. We had a Spring Forward with Clarity event the other day. If you want the replay, just email me and I'll send it to you.
It's really good.
And yeah, it was great. And Carrie's inspired action at the end was to run. And during the call, she was like, I can't run. What do I do now? And we went through all the ways maybe she could run. She could run maybe for fewer minutes or in the water or supervised at physical therapy or there was some way. Her higher self wouldn't say run if she absolutely couldn't run. And then the next day she found out, oh, I can run a little bit. And it felt really good. And so sometimes we argue for our limitations instead of just doing what's right in front of us and what's accessible and what's available. And so if you are ever feeling impatient, ask yourself, what is available to me right now? What can I do right now? What will give me that feeling that I want right now? Because there's always going to be something. And that helps us achieve the vibration that we want, where we get coherence, we get alignment. So does that make sense?
Yes, and especially the brain shift when the two muddy colors came up and you said knowing what to do and not doing it. You were like, well, do what you know you need to do. And I was thinking that was like my list of have tos,
Mm.
right? My list of shoulds. my list of like, well, if I want this result, these are the steps I have to take, but I don't want to take those steps. When really it was like, no, do what you want to do.
Uh-huh.
That was a good reminder. Even still, Rachel, I hope this is resonating with you guys. Even still, knowing what I know, living the way that I live, doing all the things that I do, I still oftentimes, in fact, this morning was one of those times, I was thinking like, is this too good to be true? Am I being like too easy on myself? Should I make it harder? Like I was I was definitely there. So good reminder.
Nice.
Yeah. So Dale put her, oh, one, Dale would love the replay.
Just
Two,
email me. Make sure you email me because then I can reply and send you the file. Thank
okay.
you.
She says, here's my question. What does my higher self have to say about purity, about accepting my own, and about incorporating meekness, whatever that is? I love it. Okay.
Yeah, so these words to me feel very religious in origin, and I grew up very mildly religious. So I never studied any of this stuff. Um and so that's why when I got the email this morning, I was like, this isn't really landing for me. It doesn't have to for me to do a reading about it. But I was like, Carrie, I think grew up a little more religious than me. Do you have an overview of what these words mean to you, Carrie?
I did not grow up religious
Okay.
at all. But I grew up religious adjacent. So, and my very best friend in the one of my very best friends in the world, not my very best friend, but one of my very best friends. She is a pastor and we run on Sunday mornings. And so she often will explain things to me. But the only thing that is coming to me from this, like not from a reading, just from my cariness, is this idea of being pure, meaning like being aligned, right? And the meek shall inherit the earth is what comes to me. So this idea of meekness as a virtue that I think more like Guillaume is saying, it means weakness and submissiveness, but that's not how or probably Dale is interpreting that word more. I would guess humble is maybe a better word. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but let's do a reading so we can find out, so we can get the truth.
Okay, so Dale, what does your higher self have to say about purity and meekness? Okay. So first card, yeah, a deep alignment, just like Carrie was saying. Second, this is like my shape for like blowing in the wind, like having roots, being able to go with the flow, being adaptable. But it's not about losing yourself, right? We have deep roots, deep alignment. So there's still boundaries, there's still your own, you're not getting broken off and then carried away with someone else, right? You're staying where you are. You're just a little bit adaptable. You're not breaking at every stress, right? And then finally, we have the triangle, which is strong and clear and boundaried, and mostly what I see when I get triangle, which I have on my desk now as well, is there's a self-containment there, right? It's an inner strength. And so maybe, with purity and meekness, it may appear weak on the outside at times, but maybe that's just because you're not defensive. Maybe that's because you're not battling every misconception. Maybe that's because you know who you are on the inside and you take the high road. So that's what your higher self has to say about those words. And I think in this interpretation, it's pretty darn great.
What I like about that interpretation, I mean, of course, it's coming from Dale's higher self, but what I like about that interpretation of meekness and her saying incorporating meekness, whatever that is, this idea, right, that it's not weakness. It's a lot about I wrote strong, clear boundaried, inner strength and self-containment. Like there's no need to be anything but what you are. For it's weird that like those words, strong, clear boundaried, inner strength and self-containment, those align with confidence
Mhm.
for me. And so I like that Dale's higher self is aligning meekness, like the English, right? The English translation of that meekness has turned into weakness, right? But like Dale's higher self is saying, actually, it's like cool as a cucumber, confident.
Yeah, love it. Thank
Me
you,
too.
Dale. That was very interesting. Love it.
I'm reading Dale's response. If you don't have an opinion, better. I think that meekness has to do with, I can't see the, like, there's always something right on the last comment that I can't see. Is it allowing higher intuition into the body?
Yes. I think that meekness has to do with allowing higher intuition into the body. I mean, maybe. Like, that works.
I think that's what purity, it like, well, I guess it's all, you know how I get on
It's all
words, right?
semantics.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Karina is asking, what message do my spirit guides have for me? I love these. I love spirit guides so much. Okay, I'm just going to connect with your spirit guides. There is a band playing, there is dancing, there is celebrating. So there's a very fun event happening right now with your guides. They're wanting to celebrate you, they're wanting to enliven and play and move with you. And so I don't know why necessarily, if there's even, there doesn't need to be a reason. Your guides can just be celebrating you and excited and having the entertainment come in. But that's exactly what they're saying for you right now. Oh, I love that.
And when I checked in, the words I got were happy, happy, joy, joy.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe Karina knows what that is, but
Yeah, if you do, Karina, let us know.
either way, I mean, you don't have to have a reason for happy, happy, joy, joy, and just
Mhm.
celebration of your awesomeness. And maybe I don't know where you are like in this moment, Karina, but maybe you just needed a reminder that they're like your guides are celebrating you. They're happy, happy, joy, joy about you.
Yeah. Okay, so Katerina, hello. I loved your email today. Thank you. I just haven't replied yet. And she asks, what does my higher self have to say on my heart's true desire? How can I move past my own resistance? So Katerina was at our event the other day, and she emailed me today to say that she was so relaxed at our opening meditation that she didn't really get to the rest of it. And so we did do drawings about what is our authentic desire right now. And I just want to say, I know you'll get there, but that is the same thing as what your higher self has to say about your true desire, right? Because your higher self desire is your desire. And it's always going to be happy for you and loving and non judgmental and all of that stuff. So I'm happy to answer this right now. But also, because some people think like what you want as a person is different from what your higher self wants for you. It's not true. So just want to put that out there in case anyone else is grappling with that right now. In fact, a long time ago, I made a video about how was it like your ego helps you find your purpose, and Carrie loved that one because it's just so true. Okay, I'm into the cards today.
Okay, you do cards. I'm going to do a drawing for her. So
Okay, great. Okay, so first, ooh, this is a beautiful light mint green, and that's my wealth color. I love that. Wealth, wealth, alignment, and then one more. It is, ooh, this is like mental strategy. This is like, this can be a lot of things. This can be pre-paving. This can be basking in visualizing your desires coming to you. It could be actually having a strategy that feels good, like daydreaming and, bullet journaling, planning, but in a very aligned way, in an intuitive way. And I just want to show you these colors together. What did I do? There we go. You can't really see the green there. Aren't they beautiful? It's very like tropical. So your higher self is already aligned to wealth, alignment, and strategy. Maybe we'll call it daydreaming. Daydreaming is a better word than strategy for this. So it's like wide open. That's what the feeling I'm getting is. Wide open, arms out, arms embracing your true desire.
Am I unmuted? I think I am. So the second part of the question is, how can I move past my own resistance? And this is like the continuation. So this muddy green color right here, that's my color for stagnation, which is, I think that's what this is. This is your resistance, right? This is like whatever's going on right now has you in a sort of like stagnant, resistant feedback loop, I guess. And the way past it is everything that is on top of it, everything that is surrounding it. So I have two different shades of red here, but they both mean the same thing. So there's a lot of red going on. Red is my color for the way I best describe it is running really fast when you're in amazing shape, which both it feels like passionate, aligned action. And that's really what your red is about, is like listening to what's bubbling up inside of you and taking aligned action. And it will feel like it has some fervor behind it. And then there's a ton of like just a sprinkling of orange. There's sort of X's and hash marks and just orange all over the place. And orange is my color for alignment and fully embodied self. So how can you move past it, right? You focus on alignment all the time, right? So even just little aligned moments throughout your day. I think we have a tendency to think like, I'll just meditate for 20 minutes every morning and I will find alignment. But this is about like aligned moments throughout your day. So Abraham talks about like in moments of transition, pre-paving. But this something might be coming to you right now. Like you might have an idea of like, okay, when I'm in the shower, I'll take a little time. Every time I go to the bathroom, I'll remember, right? Like just remembering to find a way to focus on your alignment throughout the day. And then hopefully you're already inspired by the red. Like hopefully you already know what that red idea is, that passionate aligned action, that thing you really want to do, take action toward it. And it can be small steps. Like there's a ton of red, but this one in particular, there's like 3 little steps. It could be small steps. As I'm looking at it in this way, I see like a little question mark, which I wasn't seeing before. But mostly it is lean into that whatever. I wish I had more words for passionate aligned action. I wish I had your words for passionate aligned action, but it's that project that you really want to do. It's that thing that like seems big, but maybe like out of reach. Like just take teeny tiny small actions toward it. Even if the action, right, is daydreaming, is journaling about what it would be like. So hopefully that is helpful.
Nice. That was amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys are all seeing like the advice or the the reading, the information we're getting for everybody's pretty applicable across the board. Like, how do we get out of resistance? How do we, how do we manage our own desires and our higher self's desires? How do we find confidence? I love it. That's why these are so fun. All right. Thank you, Katerina, for your question. Jana, am I in resistance, or is it more that a slight pivot is needed, or just get the heck out of my own way? And if pivot, any inclination of path? So I just want to say that if you are feeling overwhelmed or bogged down, or like you're at an impasse, you don't feel good where you are right now, that is resistance. But getting the heck out of your own ways, getting out of resistance. So it's all the same. What I'm saying is all of this is the same. And where you go next is what feels better. And if that's a pivot, great. If it's not, great. But we don't need to be afraid of resistance. We're in resistance all the time. I don't know what to have for dinner. It's a little bit of resistance right there, right? I'm mad because I got up early. That's resistance too. So it doesn't really matter. We just don't want it to be chronic, right? We don't really want to have a habit of being in resistance all day, all night for weeks, because it doesn't feel good. That's all. So I'm going to do a drawing for you just because.
Well, and while you do the drawing, I'll tell you what came through for Jana when I closed my eyes. So sometimes it is hard, Jana, because I'm not looking at you. And so I'm just sort of saying things into the abyss. So just like when I closed my eyes and got the happy, happy, joy, joy, I thought that's weird. That's a weird message. A spirit guide message, at least that makes sense. But this one, when I closed my eyes and tuned into you, oh, I'm gonna yawn. Talking about it. I saw very clearly that you need to melt. That there is like a melting that has to happen. So I get like you can see there's this physical kind of like just relaxing and releasing that happens when I say it out loud. There's also a little bit of the image of, those gas station balloon guys when you turn off the air, how they just kind of like melt. That is the message for you. So I hope that you're receiving it and that it makes some sort of sense. And I'm super curious to see what the cards say.
I got more than cards for you today.
Oh, drawing, sorry.
It's okay. Pretty cool. Okay, so I frame this as what the path for Jana. And this is a very, very, very dark green. And that is my creative introspection color. It's very boundaried, it's very focused, but it's very inward. It's like the deep inside of you. Like if everything else was taken care of, if you were a multi-gajillionaire, if you had no responsibilities, no obligations, no shoulds, no past trauma, no anything, what would you feel like doing? What would you feel like doing today? What would you want to create today? Who are you today? That kind of thing. Like Carrie's saying, the melting of all the exterior stuff. Who are you? What do you want? And that can take some time to get into it. That's a deep, deep, deep cavern, right? And that's why there's so much of it. It's an arrow, like it's a direction, right? It's a path. It's not a singular meditation. It's a path, right? It's a commitment to you. But it's fun. This is my love color. It's bubbly love. It's not serious. It's not heavy. You are a beautiful, multidimensional being of love, right? And sometimes when we think of like deep knowing ourselves, we get a little bit like in a box, but that's not who we are. So I love the like seeming contradiction here. But it's really like what Carrie's saying. Melt away the stress, melt away. There's this melt away the should, the pressure, the have to, because you're in there with love and fun and enthusiasm and joy and your unique creativity, your unique self, whoever that is.
I love this as an answer to her question because, right, she's like, am I in resistance? Well, yeah, probably, right? But then if I need to pivot any inclination of the path and your answer was the path. The path is the answer. That there's I think this is sort of a theme maybe on the planet right now about not being afraid to go inward, not being afraid to go deep into our emotions, not being afraid of whatever darkness we think we might encounter, right? And so I love that in the darkness, in the dark color in the drawing, there was this playful love color, like kind of a reminder, like it's not dark in there, right? Like you don't have to worry. It's not dark in there. It just seems like it might be. Love that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So Karina has an answer for us. She said that, her happy, happy, joy, joy guide. She says, thank you. Yes, that makes sense. I was just planning a weekend concert trip. I also had a question before that question. I didn't see the previous question, so I wasn't able to answer it, but I did look for it. We do a new round. Feel free to put it in.
Oh, I wonder if maybe she wrote in a question before we went live if it doesn't show up. I don't know.
Actually, I do see what you all write before we went live, so
Oh,
I don't
never
know.
mind.
Maybe it got deleted or something. I didn't delete it. So Dale, did we read this yet? No? Okay. I love the approach of confidently moving forward as an intuition
Appears in me at
at
any
any moment. And it fits in with what I'm picking up about trusting I'm a pure channel. I can question, hesitate less. Yes. Yes. Hesitate less. All of you, hesitate less, question less, trust yourself. Trust yourself. If you do the work of feeling good most of the time, you can trust yourself. Trust yourself.
and you'll naturally hesitate less.
Yeah, but also, right, it can be it's a momentum, right? It's a habit. So we will do it less, but even I hesitate and question sometimes too. I mean, it's a thing, it's okay. But if you do the work of feeling good, of knowing yourself, of being in the moment, of doing all that, you really can trust yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Who is next?
So Jennifer, yes, of course, put your question in the chat. Hi, puppy. So good to see you here.
Okay.
Oh, and Guillaume. I keep hitting roadblocks on a couple of big desires I wish to manifest. How can I get past the roadblocks? Okay. Are you drawing?
I can. Are you going to do cards?
Cards.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Guillaume, let's see. Getting past roadblocks. Okay, first color. Oh, happy. Light yellow. Happy. And because it's a light yellow, it's your truth plus happy. So your version of happy, not Carrie's version or my version, like your version of happy. And then second color, very light gray, which is intuition and truth. So there's a big theme here of truth. And then final card, square. So truth, happiness, intuition, and then your like carving out your place in this world, your home, your comfort zone, feeling good in your own skin, in your own environment. Like maybe this is redecorating where you spend the most time, putting your own stamp on things. Maybe it's making a little website, claiming some part of the internet for yourself. It's being happy and content and you, very truthful to you in some place, whether it's in yourself or in your immediate environment.
I like that.
Yeah.
Here's what I got. So this is a lot. There's only two colors here, even though I picked up 3 different chalks. The first thing that I put down is this big, like, sort of bold blue section, and that is a roadblock. It's probably a roadblock that you're aware of. It comes in the form of emotional tension, worry, or concern. So this is like the roadblock that you, or if you're seeing roadblocks as external, it's a reminder that your roadblocks are internal, that they have to do with your worries and your fears and your concerns, not so much about anything that is on the outside. And there's 2 of them here. One of them is like sort of like big and in your face, and the other one is it's like a thread. It's just like, and you'll just be like, it feels like a pulling of the thread. But either way, the roadblocks are internal, and the way that you address them is this, which is kind of what Rachel said, is just new, fresh energy. So it's getting into, if you are focusing on the roadblock, if you're focusing on the external, it is about approaching it with, recognize that it's internal, and then approach it with new, fresh energy. And that is really about getting into the truth of who you are. That's it. Oh, you're muted, Rachel.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Guillaume. Jana says that that's how she's feeling right now, Carrie. So that makes sense.
It's just so weird to say it into the abyss, because when someone's in front of you, they're like, oh, right.
Yeah. Okay. So Jennifer, another amazing intuitive artist, has gone through our program. I've been able to manifest a job in the arts world, which I feel very thrilled about. However, my time has been compromised. I asked for flex time, but I feel guilty about it. What should I do? So I want to go back to Dale's question earlier. I hope you were hearing that, like this internal confidence and boundaries and knowing yourself. And I like how the triangle has a really wide base, right? It's strong. It's not feeling guilty about asking for its needs and desires. And so, I mean, first of all, I would just say you don't need to feel guilty about asking for what you want, right? It's up to them. They can say no, right? I mean, that's what kind of comes with working for a company, is they have the option if you're having to ask, you know. But I also think that, especially in the arts world, there are a lot of people who have varying needs, right? Like the neurodivergent community of the world often show up in the arts. And there are, you know, actual medical needs that some people might have if they have, let's say, ADHD or autism, or, you know, there's a lot of things that make you neurodivergent, brain trauma, all kinds of things. And so often when we feel guilty about asking for things, it's just because we aren't super embodied in who we are and what we deserve and how our brains work and how our bodies work and how we function best. And so if we come from a place of knowing, like, I will perform better for you if I get some flex time, or if I can walk away for a couple minutes, or if I can do things at night, whatever it happens to be for you, I think you'll feel a lot more confident about it, because the more embodied you are, the more you know yourself, the less you're going to worry about what others have to say about that, because you already know, I'm doing this for both of us. I'm going to feel better and you're going to benefit from it. And so that's just a different position that you're coming from. But I'm also going to ask, Yeah. So your asking was from an aligned place. It was an aligned action. And so I think feel really, really good about that. Celebrate that you asked. That's incredible. No need to feel guilty about it. And then also, this is a texture, and I can see here that it's up and down. And so I would just say it's a job. Expect it to be a little up and down. Expect a little bit of like back and forth, right? Back and forth. I'm saying this, you're saying that. And the more you can feel embodied in yourself, the less it will stress you out to have to wait for an answer, to ask for things, you know? And then one more color. This is really, really key for a job. I think this is a light alignment color. This is politeness. I'm smiling at you, you're smiling at me. We're polite, we're getting along, everything's good. And that's for everybody's sanity, right? Like, we're showing up to work, but we're not losing ourselves. We're not giving every part of us away. We are giving of our overflow, right? And that's really important. So we don't need to lose our boundaries. We don't need to feel like we are at the mercy of anything else. We're sovereign beings showing up to provide a service for compensation. And you can love it and you can excel there and you can be amazing and you can give so much, but not at the expense of yourself. So there.
And my reading was much shorter because I just got like a check-in. And when you said you're very thrilled about it, but I asked for flex time, which I feel guilty about. What should I do? And I was like, stop feeling guilty. Like that's it. And so that's the question is, what do I need to do to release myself from this guilt, right? Is remember, you asked for what you needed. You're worthy and deserving of what you need. Your higher self wants you to have what you want. Like, what's best for you is best for everyone. You never have to feel guilty about listening to your truth. And so just stop feeling guilty. Everything will be fine.
Yeah. Love it. Thanks, Jennifer. Good to hear from you. I love your Instagram pictures. Okay. So Katarina, she did her first intuitive art drawing the other day. So this is okay. She says, maybe I need to meditate on the meaning of the colors again. I was a bit upset by what the drawing said on Tuesday. This rings much more true. So I just want a lot of new intuitive artists who use our method. There's a lot usually like negative color meanings, or when they do their drawings and some of those negative color meanings come up, they're alarmed or upset. And I just want to point out a couple of things that's really helpful in that you can only interpret from where you currently are vibrationally, right? So if you have a lot of negativity and stress in your life right now and you do the color meditation, it's going to show up because that's where you are and that's the words that you're going to need to communicate with your higher self. But they're never a judgment. It's just showing you what's true for you in the moment, what's going on for you in the moment, in words that you're currently using in your vocabulary. And as you move out of stress, those words will change. And the other thing is, like, if you get like our first reading today, Carrie got 2 muddy colors from my deck right there. But we were sort of laughing about it because it was the answer to her question, right? You're only going to get a loving answer for your inquiry from your higher self. That's it. Pure love, pure love. And so if you are alarmed, if you are seeing judgment down there, that's just you kind of freaking out in the moment. It's never, ever a judgment from your higher self. Muddy colors, signs of misalignment, negative color meanings, they're just pointing out what's there. And there's usually a positive color around it to say, focus on this and that'll disappear. Or focus on this and that's the answer to how to get rid of whatever you are asking about, right? Because a lot of times we ask about negative things. How can I get rid of this resistance? And so if resistance shows up, that makes a lot of sense. So I just want to point that out. Your higher self is always sending love, always sending love. And it's just using whatever vocabulary you're giving it to work with right now. which is usually where you are vibrationally right now. So hope that helps. Okay.
We're both reading at the same time.
I know. Yeah. All right. Well, a lot of validation here. A lot of that's exactly how I was feeling. I'm really excited about this. All kinds of things. Oh, we have some new people too. Florida hippie, hello. Hi, Sybil, hello. Lots of cool stuff.
Should
So
we
let's
did you wanna address Puppy's question about her grandmother?
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at right now. Okay. So I've never met my grandmother. She died before I was born, but a lot of my family members are spiritual and had a dream about her and said she was still present in our building. Could you ask if she's disappointed in me? Of course I can. But also, the beautiful thing about when we die is that we're never disappointed in anything. We don't even have access to that anymore. Um, and it's so beautiful to feel. I'm you sure you can feel it right now. So let's do that, all of us. Let's feel your grandmother and how she feels about you right now. So you can just close your eyes, sit back in your chair, or your couch, or wherever you are. Take a deep breath. Open up your heart and just have the intention of connecting with your grandmother. And what I feel right now is a warmth, a real deep warmth, like you're looking into the center of a flower with sunshine trapped in there, right? There's like nectar overflowing in there. It's beautiful, deep, warm, sunshiny. It's lots of hugs and love and attention. I've been watching you. I've been growing with you. I've been by your side. Admiration. That's what I'm feeling. So, not only do spirits not have access to any negative emotion because it doesn't exist there, not only that, they are so effusively shoveling love and appreciation in your direction. So, I'm hoping you can feel that.
I don't know, Puppy, I don't know your, like, ethnicity, but when I tapped in, I got, like, this image of, like, the Hispanic or Italian or, like, just this, like, so loving, and she wants to feed you. She wants to, like, have some more lasagna, or, like, there's this, like, very, like I mean, I wanna say stereotypical, like, Italian grandma, like, "Come on in, have some more of this." You need like, just wanting to love on you and feed you and take care of you. So, yeah, I don't get disappointment. I get, like, the opposite, like,
Yeah.
squeeze you on the cheeks and tell you you need to eat some more.
Nice. Cool. Thanks for your question.
Mm.
Okay, Florida hippie, hello. I was wondering why I don't dream anymore or remember them. I used to have such vivid, cool dreams. Carrie, did you have something to add here? You were
Well, no, except for that, I feel like we have a friend who's kind of a dream expert. Her name is Jean, and she's all about dreams. So I immediately want to ask Jean about this, but I'll tell you my experience is that they come and go. So like I'll go through long periods where I feel like what happened? I'm not dreaming anymore. And then as I sort of do a better job of tapping into my own alignment or maybe just get more rest, I don't really know, but then I'll go through other periods where I have really strong, vivid, connected dreams. So I can relate to you, Florida hippie. I can totally relate to like kind of being disappointed in where's my dream guidance. Um, but I'll tell you at least my own experience is it comes and goes.
interesting. Yeah, I've never been a huge dreamer. I dream once in a while, and I remember them when I've had them, when they're like those big, vivid dreams. But honestly, most of the dreams that I remember that are really vivid are like disturbing or stressful. So it's kind of funny. And that had me thinking, like, I wonder if you had a stressful emotion in a dream and you're like, "Man, I'm going to take a break from this for a while," you know? A lot of times our own intentions are what drives our experiences, right? So I did this intuitive art drawing here for you. And this is the deep creative introspection color that we had before. And then there's that alignment color, general alignment, and some grounding in a spiral. And so I would just say you are still dreaming. This deep creative introspection, this alignment, you're still dreaming. You're just not remembering them. And so moving the grounding down, like setting up a ritual before you go to bed again. I love my dreaming. My intention is to remember them. It's okay that I haven't for a while, but now I'm wanting to again. Like make it clear your intentions. And then do the things that all the dream people recommend if you're not already. Have the dream journal right by your bed so that you can sit up in the morning and pull out the pen and see if that prompts anything and write it down. Just get into the habit of it again. The grounding is really just about like the ritual, the habit, the physical things we can do to spark that action, spark that memory. But you're still dreaming and you're still aligned. So there's nothing wrong, is what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong. And I think your intention and the physical actions of like getting into that place again will help. So hopefully this helps. Let us know. Were you drawing the next one?
It's like you're psychic, Rachel.
I might be. We're not sure yet, but I might be.
Yes. And it's an interesting one. So the next question, I lost it. Sybil was asking, what is the next step? Let me see if I can find it because what I wrote. Oh, there we go. Thank you. In finding a good balance between generosity to myself and generosity towards others. And then, i.e., be more generous to myself. So I just wrote, what is Sybil's next step in finding the balance between generosity to herself and generosity to others? And here's what I got. So black is my color for certainty. And so the first thing that I put down is certainty. And I find it interesting that first I drew the line, right? That was like my line of certainty. That was the first thing I put down. And then we have this mint green color, which is really about, it is something, let me find the right word. I'm going to use several words. It is aligned. It is divinely inspired. And there's a newness to it. So, but what I like about it is that I'm sort of imagining that there's a dividing line. There's generosity to self and generosity to others. And it looks to me like as you start being generous to yourself, that there's sort of this like trickle down into generosity to others. Brown is just grounded. So, right, the whole thing is you being grounded. I feel like it's grounded in the truth of who you are. And what I love though is like the symbology of the triangle just keeps coming up all day today. And this triangle of certainty is here again, right? And this is sort of, for me, this looks like the basis, like I'm imagining if this were like a balance, right? This is the fulcrum's not the right word, right? But like the base, right? The heavy thing that allows this like diving board of balance to even come out from. And it is just like being certain and solid in having great boundaries, but like in the truth of who you are. I feel like this is just me being intuitive. I feel like there's some sort of thing that is telling you that you can't be generous to yourself. And so this is just sort of the reminder that you have to start from like a really solid foundation. You have to start from a full cup. Um, yeah, so I don't know if that's helpful for you, but that I don't have a ton of actions for you. Maybe Rachel, you can give some actions to this. It's mostly about grounding and really being like certain and clear in your truth.
Yeah, I mean, that's the place to start, right? And then I love the advice always of make more decisions. Make more decisions that bring you into the equation. If somebody asks you, where do you want to eat? What do you want for dinner? Stop and decide, and stop just saying whatever you want. I don't care. What do you want to listen to? Have an opinion, make decisions, bring yourself back into the equation, and then it'll pick up speed from there. You'll find places to pause more, consider yourself before doing something for someone else or getting up and getting something, right? So just slow and steady, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's already 1:27.
I know. I just saw that.
Wow. Okay, well, everybody, you're incredible. Puppy asked me if I do private readings. I do, and I put my link in here for you. I offer two kinds. One, an hour on video chat privately, quite an investment, totally worth it. The readings I give, they last for a long time, sometimes like a decades. Like people just get the information that they need for a really long time. That's not to say you can't have them regularly. You can, but they are worth it, is what I'm saying. But I also have this really fun service where you can give me a paragraph of what you have going on with you, what you want clarity on, and I will make you a video like this back with my cards, with my intuitive art, with my checking in directly, and I'll answer your question from a few different angles. So that's really fun, and it's even more affordable. So if you are interested in that, go check it out. But also become a certified intuitive artist this week, because then you can do these kinds of things for people and watch their aha moments and really open their eyes to who they are. You're spreading truth, you're spreading confidence. It's so much fun, and we really all enjoy having you in our program and doing our little practice hours and seeing you in class. You're going to meet amazing people. Some of the people here today have been through the program and still come to the practice hours. So it's a great time to become a certified intuitive artist. Get our aligned income course for free until Sunday, intuitiveart.com. We love it so much. I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years and I'm still absolutely in love with it. I gave a reading a few weeks ago. And every time I would like do the drawing and come back, I would giggle, I would smile, and the person getting the reading was so chuffed, if I can use that word, if I'm using that word correctly, Jennifer. But she was just like, "You're so cute. I can't believe like you." I'm just so into it. So it doesn't get old. All right, that's what I have to
Ever.
say.
Ever.
No,
Hmm.
so many thank yous from all of you. I'm really I'm grateful for you. I'm appreciative for you. So thanks for sharing your thanks too. Yeah. Great. I used it correctly. Thanks, Jennifer. Anything you want to end with, Carrie?
No, just you guys are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, Rachel and I do it too. We get all stuck in our own stuff, but like, you're incredible. You're amazing. You have the answers. You know what to do. You can trust yourself. And if you have a strong desire, it's for you. And you don't have to justify or figure out. So if you have a strong desire to be intuitive artist, do it. If you have a strong desire to go skydiving, do that, right? Like, do it.
Yes. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. All right. That's it. We'll see you next week. We love you all. Have a wonderful week. Have a great weekend.
Bye,
Bye
guys.
for now.